The day I returned to the Silverfang pack, my father ordered me to kneel on pure silver. The very second my knees touched the metal, my older brother shrieked, collapsing as blood gushed from his legs. I smiled and revealed the truth to my parents.
The bloodline sharing curse lived inside me. If I felt a single prick of pain, my blood relatives would suffer it tenfold.
From that day on, the entire pack guarded me like their most precious treasure. But on the night of the Moon Patrol Festival, Roxanne dragged me into the depths of a dungeon. Beside her stood a wicked witch holding a red-hot branding iron. Roxanne sneered, her eyes glittering with malice.
The iron is nice and hot, isn't it? Brand her 100 times.
Inside the ancestral grand hall of the Silverfang pack, Alpha Richard, my biological father, sat upon his high throne.
Kneel, Seraphina.
Richard pointed a clawed finger toward the center of the hall. The floor was blanketed with crushed obsidian shards, each one heavily plated with lethal pure silver. Standing beside Richard was my brother, Logan. He stood with his arms crossed, a mocking sneer plastered across his face. I stared at the silver-plated shards, and the corners of my mouth curled into an elegant smile.
What? Are you afraid? Human trash is always so cowardly. If you can't even pass a simple test like this, what right do you have to return to the Silverfang pack?
I didn't waste my breath. I took a single step forward and slammed my knees directly onto the silver-plated shards. A searing pain instantly shot up from my knees as the pure silver began to corrode my skin, sending up wisps of white smoke. Yet, my smile didn't falter. It only grew wider. A blood-curdling shriek pierced the silence of the hall. The scream didn't come from me. I slowly turned my head. Logan was already on his knees, his hands clutching his legs in sheer agony. With the sickening sound of snapping bones, blood erupted from his knees, staining the stone floor a deep, brilliant crimson. Logan thrashed on the ground, his raw screams echoing off the walls. Richard bolted upright from his throne, his cold expression instantly replaced by sheer terror. I slowly stood up, brushing the dust from my skirt. Walking over to my writhing brother, I looked down at him with an expression of serene pity.
Don't scream yourself just yet, dear brother. If I suffer even a sliver of pain, you will bleed tenfold.
Logan was still twitching on the floor, his trousers entirely soaked in dark blood. Richard slammed his fist onto the armrest of his throne.
You wicked monster! What kind of human black magic did you use on Logan?
Black magic?
I reached into my pocket and casually pulled out a pure silver dagger. At the sight of the silver weapon, the elders in the room instinctively took a step back. Our mother, the Luna, rushed down the steps, desperately trying to pull Logan up from the blood-slicked floor.
It is called the Soul Chain Bond, dear father. It is a contract born from the bloodline sharing curse. The ancient Wolf King made this pact with the Moon Goddess to protect his purest descendants. Any harm inflicted upon the true heir is borne by the entire pack, tenfold.
I traced the edge of the blade with my fingertip, my gaze locking onto Richard.
If you don't believe me, we can test it right now.
I pressed the silver edge into my skin, slicing the tip of my finger to prove the validity of the bond. A single bead of blood welled up. Two simultaneous screams shattered the air. Richard and the Luna kneeling before me both clutched their chests, collapsing heavily to their knees. Richard's face drained of all color, his powerful frame trembling violently. The Luna coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood, collapsing right beside Logan. The elders and guards stood frozen in terror. Not a single person dared to move a muscle. I looked down at Richard and the Luna kneeling before me and gently blew the blood off the silver dagger. Richard turned to his guards, his voice hoarse and desperate as he bellowed.
Quick! Place Seraphina under our highest protection! No weapon is to come near her! If she loses even a single hair, we may all die!
Richard's frantic command had barely left his lips when the heavy oak doors of the hall were violently thrown open. Roxanne stormed in, her delicate lace gown rustling as she wept, tears streaming down her face. She didn't even glance at Logan bleeding on the floor. Instead, she wailed dramatically to our parents.
Father! Mother! How can you tolerate this crude woman staying here? Oh heavens, I have just secured a mate pact with the great Lion King Kaelin. Seraphiona's presence is a direct insult to him. If King Kaelin takes offense, how will our pack survive his wrath?
Roxanne used Kaelin's formidable name to intimidate me, her voice dripping with condescension. I leaned casually against a stone pillar, watching her theatrical performance with amusement.
A mate pact? Roxanne, has Kaelin ever actually kissed you? Or did you simply steal the sacred token belonging to the true Silver Flag heir 18 years ago?
Roxanne's face turned paper white.
Shut your mouth! Kaelin chose me! You useless wretch will never steal what is mine!
If that's true, why are you shaking? A thief must always return the crown eventually.
Richard and the Luna were in too much pain to utter a single word to defend her. Seeing that her protectors remained silent, Roxanne stomped her foot in fury and turned to leave. The corridor outside was lined with toxic, razor-sharp black briars. As she passed me, she deliberately quickened her pace and slammed her shoulder into me to shove me straight into the poisonous thorns. I looked at her desperate face and made no attempt to dodge. Instead, I let my body fall backward, straight into the thorns.